we get so wrapped up in our lives, we don't realize that everybody around us also has one, and everybody has a story. And I think that's what I like. Sometimes you got somebody whose car is in the shop, and they just need a ride today, and they'll never take another taxi the rest of their life. And sometimes you have people you pick up 4 or 5 days a week, take them to work because they don't drive, or they just went through a messy divorce and their spouse got the car. You never know. But every time somebody gets in the car, as a driver, I am always receptive to talking to them. I won't sound dramatic, but I pretty much feel that once or twice I may have saved somebody's life. I picked the guy up. He was so distraught. Um, I know he was. He says, "I don't want to live. I don't want to live." And I said, "Well, And I drove him around for 2-3 hours, and he kept, he found out his wife was leaving him for another guy, and he was so distraught. And anyhow, that's another story. But I know that by talking to him, never read about anything in the paper, but I was a little worried because he was so distraught. But sometimes you just need to be there, and sometimes it's not about talking, it's about listening. So when you ask, what I like the most, I would have to say the variety. I mean, I'm not a sit in the office and talk to the same 12 people in my cubicle every day. I drive around. I have no idea, for the most part, where you're going to wind up all that day. Sometimes you work on the west side, east side. You're driving back and forth across town. Sometimes you get in the zone, and all the calls, one right after the other, flow from here on campus to picking up at a bar, going back to a different bar, bringing back to campus. And then sometimes, your second call of the day is going to Orlando, Florida, so you only took 2 calls all day long. I was telling my wife this. It actually was kind of interesting. I dropped off one of my regular customers at the hospital, came down Miccosukee Road. I logged on. Just as I did, I got a call on Uber, within seconds. And I hit accept, and I looked over, since I was crossing over Monroe Street, I just hit the button to accept it, and I looked up when the traffic was cleared. Oh, it's a Greyhound right here. So I pulled into the Greyhound. Turned out I was picking up a woman who was actually going to Dothan, Alabama. Really nice woman. We had a nice chat. I drove her to Dothan. There's a place I like to stop right outside of Dothan. It's a little fruit and vegetable stand. They sell jellies. And I was like, well, that'd be great. I'll stop there on the way back and head back to Tallahassee. Well, I dropped her off in Dothan, say goodbye. I turned around. I started driving back to Tallahassee, and I got a call picking up, going to Marianna, Florida. I was like, what? I'm in Dothan, Alabama, and I got a call going to Marianna. So I obviously couldn't stop by that spot. It would have been out of the way. So I drove to Marianna and dropped off. Coming back to Tallahassee, I had something to do, so I logged out, so I couldn't get another call. I figured I'd be going to Panama City if I did that.